Dragon Blaze burst onto the scene in May 2015 and immediately amassed a cult following. The first hero allies, Mercedes and Deathground, were introduced into the game only 16 days after the global launch. At the same time, the world was introduced to the first world boss known as Golem. On June 9th, the DOS Deathground raid became available for players, as well as 2 additional heroes, Brightspark and Bell Snow. On June 22nd, the original daily dungeon was added, in addition to 2 new elven heroes, Teal and Loki. The world boss Hydra was also available. Just 2 months after the global launch of Dragon Blaze, Chapter 2 was released. Included in Chapter 2 were the introduction of the Draco allies. During the next couple of months, several quality of life changes were introduced into Dragon Blaze, including raid bots, party formation, jewel system, and finally, the skill enhance. The first Angel allies, Lilywin and Ravengale, were released on September 21st, in addition to 2 new heroes, Lilith and Ivanti. These new Angel allies required Dark Essences in order to obtain. On October 19th, 3 new Dark Elf allies were released, Eredin, Danuvian, and Lucian. During this time, 2 more Angel allies were available, Gaia and Farah. With a new boss raid encounter Ragnarok available, the Raid Shop feature was also introduced, allowing for players to purchase gear that they want. November 23rd, the final Angels arrived, Frederick, Michaela, and Kymel. Additionally, the Workshop, Skill Card, and Pet features were added into game. At the beginning of 2016, the first Ultimate 6-man raid was introduced, DOS Ragnarok, which also brought forth new Ultimate grade gear. Released in February 2016 was the introduction of Chapter 3's Icy Land. In addition, the first wave of Bowden allies were available, Stormbear, Monolondi, Bliss Foxy, Hellhawk, and Arrow Trigger, required ancient essences to create. Just 7 months after releasing the Hydra world boss, Chariot was now available. Additionally, the final remaining Bowdens were released, Margaret, Drunken Falcon, Chaser Tracy, and Shadowhowl. Released at the end of April 2016 was the introduction of Dragon Busters, the first wave including Pluto, Stigma, and Epsilon. During the course of May 2016, 2 additional Dragon Busters, Omega and Uranus, were available. At this time, the first set of Awakened allies, King Graham, Mercedes, Akkard, and Loki, were now acquirable. The final 2 Dragon Busters, Gaia and Iota, were released on June 6th, in addition to 4 more Awakened allies, Fulson, Shabelle, Pada, and Lucian. In summer 2016, players got their first glimpse at powerful Dark Soul allies, with Ragnarok and Tyr being amongst the first to be released. Throughout the months, additional Awakened allies, Danuvian, Windloon, Rollo, and Calgar, were introduced, as well as a new guild mode, Guild Adventure. A little over 1 month after their introduction, 2 new Dark Soul allies, Thanatos and Shiva, were added into the game. With the end of summer in sight, the 7th wave of Awakened allies were now available, Awakened Ivante, Lilith, and Kerrang. In addition to these 3, players would also bid farewell to the Labyrinth game mode, which was later replaced with Revenge of Belphegor. October 2016 saw some highly anticipated arrivals, such as Awakened allies, Way, Bell Snow, and Azure. The Gearlink system was finally available, as well as the new Liberated Ragnarok raid, which offered level 99 Ultimate raid gear. Additionally, the long-awaited Dark Soul Sasha was now available. In November, the final set of Awakened allies, Teal, Turk, and Eredin, were now released. With the final set of Awakened allies now available, players were able to create the powerful Mage Dark Soul Morgana, in addition to the Paladin Naskir. One final game mode to be released in Chapter 3 was the Nebula raid. With our heroes having faced dragons, Ragnarok, and with this new dark force having now emerged, our Bowdens must now harness their true inner power. They have finally awoken.